Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Chainlink. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, watch that before watching this one so that you have more context. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. And before we get into the TA, I quickly want to mention my good friend's Twitch channel. So Wesband is his name, and he has been a follower on my YouTube channel for quite some time. He's also the moderator over at my Discord server. So great guy, great TA skills. If you want some nice TA and nice long TA streams with some nice background music, and if you want to just chillax, you know what I mean, these streams are for you. So feel free to check him out. The link is going to be down below in the description. Alrighty, so jumping into the weekly chart for Chainlink. As you can see right now, it does seem like we are having a nice bounce from this bottom support trend line of the channel up pattern, this yellow channel up pattern. So every time you come back down to the support of the channel, you typically see moves to the upside. So just like you did over here, just like you did over here, and right now you're doing the same thing here. So potentially this time we are going to see a break to the upside. We're going to take a look at multiple time frames here to see what sort of targets we may have. But looking at the previous local high here that we printed in August, I would say all the way up to $9.14. We can pump all the way up there and then get rejected from that area, because not only you retested that area in August, you also did the same thing in June with that little pump that you had all the way from $7.50 to $9.50. So the same thing could happen here, but as you can see, you're being squeezed up between the 20 EMA on the weekly and the support trend line, the ascending support trend line here. So I do think there is a good chance we may break out here, and if you are going to break above the high that we printed in August, then you're going to be looking at the 1.618 on the Fibonacci retracement, which is at $12.28, and that is exactly where the weekly 55 EMA is. So that's the red trend line, or the red line over there. So like I said, for us to target that, we'd need to break the high over here that we printed in August, $9.50. Once you do that, you're good to take a look at $12.28. So for now, I'm not going to be taking any profits on Chainlink. I'm not going to be swing trading it because it's too risky. If we see a break to the upside towards the end of October and maybe in November, I don't want to be left down here with my cash. So I'm not swing trading right now. As soon as we start getting overbought on the daily and on the 3-day charts on the RSI, that's when I can start thinking about some, mid-term swing trades. Now, let's take a look at the swing high and the swing low of the Fib retracement. So the swing low was over here at the end of August, and the swing high was printed in the middle of August, or in the first half of August. So that's how you have the 1.618 technical target. Now, let's just start zooming out a little bit more over here and see what's going on in general. So you can see that Chainlink on the weekly chart has really been bullish for the past couple of years. You can see that since 2018, you have been printing higher highs and higher lows. And what you've done essentially here is you came back to retest these highs that you printed in December and February of 2 years ago, and in July of 2019. So essentially this high over here is where you almost came back down to. So that is going to be something that we can retest once again. If I take that and place it there, so $5 in case of a capitulation, I would be looking at a $5 Chainlink. And that is still possible. We may see Bitcoin capitulate all the way down to $14,000, maybe $12,000, but something really bearish has to happen for that, because Chainlink isn't going to do that by itself on its own, right? It has to have the influence from Bitcoin. And right now we are in this channel up pattern. And as you know, channel up patterns tend to break to the downside. So there is a chance that we may break down from this channel up pattern and we may retest $6.25. If that happens, that would be a great buying opportunity for everyone, myself included. I will dollar cost average into Chainlink once again if we drop below $6.50. I do have a nice bag of Chainlink. Right now, if you want to get all of my buy alerts, they're going to be on Patreon. So feel free to check out the link down below in the description. So we have our mid-term targets. Now, what about our long-term targets? So I have the second Fibonacci retracement on the chart right now, as you can see with the white lines over here. So we took the low that we printed in May at $5.26, and we took the swing high that we printed in the May of 2021, and we have ourselves the 1.618 target at $231. So that is what I'm going to be looking at in the next bull market. This is what I think could be the peak of the next bull market. So we can either, get rejected from the 1.414 here. So that's going to be $143.50. And you also have the 1.618. So the minimal target obviously is going to be the 1.212 or the 1.272, I should say, at $103. But I think we're definitely going to get to $100 at least for Chainlink in the next bull market, especially with the staking upcoming for Chainlink. Things are going to be looking very bullish for Chainlink. Now, jumping into the weekly RSI, ignore the trend lines. That's for the daily chart. As you can see, we went all the way down to the index of 32 on the RSI here, and now we're having a move all the way up here, and we're starting to get closer to the level 50. So there's going to be a major resistance level over here for the weekly RSI, because you did have a retest here in March of 2022. So you basically ran into resistance there, you came back down, and right now you can potentially run into that level once again. So the level of 47.5 on the RSI, that is where you can run into resistance. So I'd be looking out for that on the weekly chart. Above that, you're going to have a couple of swing lows and swing highs in this area. So I would say mainly 55 to 57, 58 on the index. That's going to be a very, very strong resistance level for us to get through on the RSI. But let's say Chainlink starts pumping, because Chainlink has been known to pump during bear markets, and this time can be, we can see the same thing essentially play out. So in that case, I would look for a retest of, like I said, $12.27 all the way up to $15.60, because we still haven't retested these levels here. So if you take a look at this low, when we lost this low here, we didn't come back up to retest it. So that's potentially what we could do here, come all the way back up and just retest this level as resistance. We retested that area once again in November as support, then we dropped back down below. We had this sort of move to the upside, but we really didn't retest, $12 to $15 as resistance. So that is potentially what I'm looking at here. That would be a great swing trade opportunity for anyone, myself included, obviously, and all of my trades are going to be on Patreon. I do let my patrons know of all my trades. Now let's switch over to the Binance website. Switching over to the weekly chart on the Binance, you can see that this chart is a bit simpler, and we do have an ascending triangle here playing out with a target at $14.50, and you also have multiple resistance trend lines to break through. So obviously $12.35 here, then you have $18 over here, which is the swing high that we printed in May of this year. Then you have the low that we printed in May of this year as well. And then you have the 20 weekly EMA, obviously the 55 weekly EMA. You have the technical target from the ascending triangle pattern. And then you have your support level here at $4.48 or 50 cents. And this is basically the same high that we looked at on the previous chart. It's just that I didn't place the trend line on top of the wicks. I actually placed the trend line on top of the candle. So if you want to do it like that, that's going to be $4.50 per Chainlink token. If we see a break from this pattern here, and we don't break to the upside, and you bleed all the way down here, this is going to be a very, very good entry point for Chainlink. Whether you're, looking for a mid-term trade or you're looking for the long term, and I'm looking for the long term. This is going to be an incredible opportunity to get into Chainlink, but only if we do see that, right? Because a lot of people are going to be panic selling if we get to $4.50, but we are going to be the ones sweeping the lows and buying all of these cheap prices out. That's regarding the weekly chart here for Binance. And taking a look at a nice pattern that we have playing out here. So obviously we're breaking out of this falling wedge on the weekly. We are looking at a retest of 47.5. And after that, actually, I should bring out another trend line here. Just like that. And let's have that as red as well. That's pink. That's not red. Let's have it as red. Why is it not red? Well, doesn't matter. Okay, so we have 47.5, 53, and 59 on the RSI. So those are the swing highs that we are potentially going to retest. So either one of them, you could see a retest of resistance if you start breaking through them. So I would be careful selling too early right now, because what's happening here is that we're breaking out of a multi-month resistance trend line. We even back tested it as support here. Not quite, but it was basically the same thing, because you came back down to where you had the resistance level and you bounced from there. So we can actually count this. So yeah, target one of these trend lines here in case we see a strong pump for Chainlink, but I wouldn't expect that unless we get any bullish news for Chainlink, or unless Bitcoin starts a massive uptrend into the end of this year. But that is pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. If I have missed anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to join my Patreon. And if you want to support the Ukrainian refugees and my country in general, there are 2 donation links down below. You can go to the official websites and donate directly to the funds. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.